Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be introducing you to a tool, Nisify. Nisify, that's the name of the tool. And what it does is that it's going to be helping you to meet your NIST CSF 2.0 compliance needs. So I'll be sharing my screen. Just give me a moment. My screen is coming up. Okay, so I believe you should be able to see my screen now. Yeah, so basically, this is the GitHub page for Nisify. You can see it was developed by Clay Good, and you can see the about section here is a NIST CSF. CSF stands for cybersecurity framework. So it's actually something that you have organizations that say that they have a cybersecurity framework that they have implemented and things around that. But when you start to audit them, you find out that most of what they do are just they have some kind of document that they've put together, and they believe that the documentation reflects their environment. But for an organization that is cloud-based, things change quite fast. So the time it will take for you to update some of those documents is kind of slower. So what Nisify does is that the aspect of the cybersecurity framework that can be automated, it automates it for you and tells you a real-time status. So you can see it's a NIST CSF 2.0 compliance evidence aggregation tool that automatically collects technical evidence from 13 cloud platforms. So you integrate Nisify to this cloud platform and it maps it to the over 106 NIST controls alongside your manual governance document. So not all of the controls can be um, automated. So there are some that requires manual documentation. So Nisify also addresses that and provides a transparent real-time dashboard for measuring compliance, maturity, and tracking gaps. So we are going to be seeing how we can set this up. You can go through that. You can see over here it says 36% is can be automated. But these days people do not automate anything. So this helps you to automate this 36%. And the remaining is it 60 something percent you manually um add them to Nisify. I want to quickly show you the 13 platforms that it currently have support for. You can see them here. AWS, so if you are an organization that your infrastructure is on AWS or you use Okta for some of your security processes, or you're on Google, GitLab, Jira, Zoom, and the likes. So Nisify, Datadog as well, which is widely used. Nisify is something you should explore. Then there are a couple of documentations here that you might want to have a look at. These are links to several documentations that guides you on how to use Nisify. So enough of the talking, let me just go straight to the installation. So I'll be installing it in a virtual machine. So I'll be working with an Ubuntu VM. Let me see. Nisify, frankly, IO. Yeah, I think this is good. Let me use this stored keys. I don't want to create another one. Um, ch- 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 okay. So these are just standard procedures when you want to provision a virtual machine. So as I said, cybersecurity is getting very, very popular. Everybody that have some kind of resource on the internet, cybersecurity is not a it's not a luxury, it's a must have. And the cybersecurity, you can't just implement cybersecurity without thinking about adopting a cybersecurity framework. And NIST is very popular. It's the standard in the US, and I think we are good. So let me start. I'm provisioning the VM now. So NIST was developed by the US. It's kind of like an institute in the US. And when it comes to cybersecurity, they not just cybersecurity, they have a lot of when it comes to IT in general, they usually release documents that guides best practices um, around IT, essentially for the United States, but other countries are free to also make use of it. So NIST have a cybersecurity framework, which is NIST CSF 2.0. There was an initial one, but it has been updated. So you can, while this is going on, we can go over here and look at NIST CSF 2.0, and we can see all the controls around it. You can see it's an updated framework designed to help organization manage and reduce cybersecurity risk, blah, blah, blah. So you can download this, review it, but instead of reviewing a lot of documents, why not just use a tool like Nisify that helps you to map all of that to your environment? When you integrate your environment to Nisify, and it lets you know your status in real time. Okay, so we are done provisioning it now. We'll start with our installation. So let me copy this, and I'll go over to my um, terminal on my Git bash. Just give me a moment. Yeah, so my Git bash is coming up. Let me stop sharing so that I can share my terminal. I'll stop sharing my browser soon. Okay, so I'm stop sharing, and now I will share my browse my what's it called? My Git bash window, my terminal, if I can call it that. Yeah, so let me copy my um IP address, the public IP address for that VM. If you can recall, I copied it before we left. Okay, so now let's see if we can get a session, a shell session. Okay, so now we are going to be starting with the installation now. Um, we'll be starting with the installation. I'll just be copying and pasting because of time. You can always pause the video and be able to um and you'll be able to follow up on it. So let's start with updates. Yeah, then let me copy Python. We need to install Python. Yeah. So I also need to open port 8080. So I'll do that after we are done setting it up. Because Nisify will run on port 8080 by default, and although you can also make it run on port 80 or any other port of your choice, but because of our time, we'll just be working with the default ports. Okay, so let me confirm that we have pip installed because we installed that because we are going to be using pip for the installation. Oh, pip 3 install Python 24. Okay, let me see. Okay, so we have to install pip. Um, so let's do this pip. I actually thought when I installed the full Python 3 full, it will automatically install pip, but it looks like it didn't install pip. I'm not sure why. Okay, so I think pip should be installed now. Yeah, pip is installed. Let me be sure it's version 3. Yeah, it's installed. So now we can start with our installation process. So first, let's create a virtual environment, and we'll be using Vim. Hopefully, venv virtual environment command was installed when we installed Python. Let me call it .vim. I think this is good. Okay, so now let's activate it. Okay, so now we are in the environment. So now let's get our repository. our remote repository, let's copy it so that we can copy the files that is needed for the installation. Okay, so now let's cd into Nisify and let's use pip to install um, it in editable mode. I think this should do. Yeah, so I think this is fine. So the installation is running now, and I think we are good. So now we want to see our dashboard. We are done with the installation. So what I would do is I would specify because by default it works internally. So it works, you can only access it through localhost, but I'll be changing the host so that we can access it over our public IP address. So I'll be running some commands. Just give me a moment. And I also want to run the demo. I want to fill it up with some demo evidence, some demo information so that we can see it how it really works. Okay, so this is the command I want to use. So Nisify demo should populate it up with demo data. Then we want the dashboard. We want to change the host from localhost to 0.0.0, which will allow make it possible for us to access it over the internet, our public IP address. Then we are specifying ports 8080. I'll go back and open that port right now so that we can access it through that port. So hopefully this works. You can see it's gathering the evidence now, several evidence, demo evidence. Um, if you should go through the GitHub page, you see information on how to use the demo command. And there's also an help command. If you are not sure the command to use to get anything done, you can use help. There are some commands I would be letting you see. Yeah, you can see over here, it says demo data generated successfully. So now what we are going to do is, so we have these, there's, okay, so let me go to my Azure and let's open port 8080. Okay, so I think we are over here. So let's open port 8080. I'm going to network settings. I hope you can see my screen now. The network is a little bit slow. creating an inbound portal, 8080. Let's give it a name or call it Nisify, and I would add okay. So let me confirm it is active. Okay, so now let's go and copy our IP address and try to see if it's accessible. So let's come over here. 8080. Okay, so we can see our dashboard. We can see that it is running, but the demo data that we added, we can't see it right now. So what I will do is I will go back, I will run a few other commands, and hopefully would have that ready. I think it's taking some time to load. Okay, so but we can see that it is working. This is the dashboard, the default dashboard, the compliance dashboard. Let me go back. Let me go back to my terminal. Let me share my terminal. Okay, so we have this. What I will do is I'll be running another command. Hopefully, we'll be able to see um we'll be able to see our information after running that command. Okay, so let me close this and paste this command. Yeah, let me see. Nisify dashboard host. Yes. So I think let's try this. Okay, so now let's go back. We'll refresh or use another browser or something, and hopefully we'll get some information in our dashboard. You can see some of the URLs here: dashboard, gaps, evidences, trends, and the likes. So let me go and refresh that page and let's see if we have any change. Okay, so let me copy this, paste it here, and let's run it again. And yes, now you can see we have overall maturity, evidence items. You can see 682 gaps identified and the like. So we can see so many information around. You can see what the major categories, the functions around the NIST framework. You can see where the organization lie when it comes to govern, identity, protect, detect, respond, recover. And you can go through some of the different URLs. So I won't share my screen anymore, but my terminal anymore, but from our terminal, you saw that you can use /dashboard, /gaps, /evidence. So for example, let's use um, /evidence, for example. And you can see some of the evidences, total evidence items, the platforms, and all these are all, you can go through them and see the different 4 platforms and the likes. So you can see the platform, Google, Jump, Okta, and the likes. If I should, if we should try um, the gaps as well, we are going to be seeing gaps based on the evidence that have been collected. So let's do /gaps. And you can see total gaps, critical, high, medium, and the likes. So what this tool does is that it makes you operationalize the NIST CSF 2.0, and this is cybersecurity. So it's something that is very, very important. Like if in your organization you already do you have a cybersecurity framework that you have adopted, and it might not even be NIST, but you do it based on documentation. You don't have a real-time means of evaluating your current status. So this is something that shows maturity. If an auditor is auditing you and you have a tool such as this, and another client depend entirely on files, on documents, you definitely will be considered, your organization rather, will be considered to be more mature than an organization that uses um just files, just PDF documents and the like. So I hope you find this video helpful. With time, I will add the links to all the URLs that was visited, and hopefully you'll be able to explore this platform, Nisify. Go through their GitHub page, and there are so many documentation that will guide you on how to customize the tool. So have a nice day. Have a nice day.